Good evening and welcome to this week's Vacations for Canadians Cruise Chat. We are excited to have you here with us. We've got a small but mighty Vacations for Canadians panel this evening. My name is Karen Raymond. I'm excited to be with you. We've got Luke, who's going to be presenting and talking to us a little bit this evening about cruise planning. So as you can imagine, there's a lot that goes into the idea of I want to go on a cruise all the way through to, hey, I'm on board. What do I do now? And Luke has got some really amazing tips and tricks that he's going to share with you this evening to help make sure that your planning is seamless and really gets you the cruise vacation that you're looking for. We do welcome you and we're excited to have you on board. We've got Linda behind the scenes as well, working the lights and cameras, so to speak. We'd love to hear from you. So as you know, we have a question and answer throughout the entire evening. So if you've got any cruise related questions, we do invite you to pop them in the chat. Let us know that you're here. Say hello. We always like to know who's with us this evening. And with all that said, I'd love to hand over the floor to Luke, who's going to talk to us about those cruise planning tips and Cruise Planning 101.
Excellent. Thanks, Karen. Let's get started here. Gotta find my mouse. All right. Cruise Planning 101. Sorry. Sorry, I have a bit of a dry throat. So the plan tonight is to give you a high-level view of planning a cruise, things that you should consider as part of the planning process, things to consider while you're planning, even things to consider, sorry, while you're on board, because there's a little bit of planning to be done on board as well. And then we'll talk about after your cruise, and we'll go from there. So I'll start off here. Cruise Planning 101 is it's basically the 5 W's, the who, the what, the when, the where, about cruising. Who? Well, who do you want to bring with you? Is it a family vacation? Is it an individual couple's vacation? Or you're planning a group of friends or a club or something that you want to go? The what are all the moving parts of planning a cruise? Usually, when's the best time to cruise? When do you want to plan your cruise? Where do you want to go? And at the end of the day is why are you doing this? And we usually know that some of us are addicted to cruising. So once you've done your first sailing, you have 5 or 6 booked for your next adventure. So let's dive into this. Again, this is very high level to kind of set the stage. There's a lot more moving parts for each one of the topics tonight, but I'll try to touch on it. If you have any questions, put them in a comment below. If you want a little more explanation on some of the things I'm going to talk about tonight, feel free to put them in the comments. We'll review them during our live chat, and we'll go from there. So the ultimate pre-cruise checklist. And as I said, the 5 W's is this a family event? Is it a couples? Is it a group of friends or a club or an organization? Or you're just planning a cruise just for as a solo traveler as well. So that's important to try to figure out up front. But that doesn't mean that's the end of the line, because I've actually seen people book a cruise. They talk to their friends, they talk to their family. Next thing you know, you're booking that second, that third, that fourth, and it turns into a big party cruise. Everybody can cruise. It doesn't matter age, demographic, and so on. Things to consider as well is travel documentation. Passports are extremely important. It's you can't leave the country with it, and you can't enter other countries without a passport. The other thing too to consider as well is if you're flying to places like the UK, you now need a travel authorization that's kind of attached to your passport. There is a small fee for that, but you need a travel authorization to go to the UK. The EU is also implementing this. I know they've delayed it a little bit because of the complexity of implementing across I meant Europe, not UK, Europe. Europe is also implementing a travel authorization, almost like a travel visa for and they keep delaying it because of the complexity of tying all the different countries together into a unified system. Depending on where you cruise from, flights are important as well. I have the privilege of living close to Ottawa, so I like cruising out of ports that I could technically drive through and drive to. Even if I wanted to save some money on flights, I could actually just drive to a port in Florida. But typically, I like sailing out of New Jersey, New York, Baltimore, Boston, because they do save on flights. So that's something to consider as well. If you live on the West Coast, Vancouver is there. They have sailings out of Vancouver. Another one to consider as well is hotels. I tell all my clients, and I'm sure all of us do the same, is to never ever fly the day of your cruise, because we know that the airline industry, the transportation industry, and it's as a global, your flights can be canceled, they can be delayed, and the last thing you want to do after spending all this time planning and looking forward to your cruise is to have your flights canceled and so on. So hotel, at least a pre-cruise hotel, very important, I think, to make sure that you fly in at least a day before. And if you fly from Canada to Europe, let's say, for instance, then you may want to consider a couple of additional days. There's benefits of doing that. You can tour the cities that you fly into or you're going to sail out of, so that you have that much more time. As an example, I did a British Isles cruise out of Amsterdam, and we flew down 6 days ahead and spent 6 days in Amsterdam and touring the Netherlands, and we had a blast, and I'm definitely doing that again. Something else to be as part of your booking process, but definitely once you've booked your cruise, is look at excursions. Look what's available. Cruise lines do have excursions. There are benefits to purchasing excursions from the cruise line, is you get some form of kind of like insurance, that if you're in port and you have a cruise purchased excursion, the cruise line will do everything possible to get you back on the ship in case of an emergency or an issue with, let's say you were on a tour bus, they got a flat tire and it's going to be late by 15, 20 minutes. The ship will wait a certain period of time. So there's a little bit of an insurance from that. There's also third-party excursion companies out there, as well as I've done it myself, where I just say, you know what, I'm not planning anything. I'm going to go into port, get off the ship. You get flagged by a whole bunch of people providing you different options. And I've done some amazing excursions that way. A day at the beach, get into a taxi and get yourself to a beach and spend the day at the beach. The other thing to consider as well, as part of your planning process, and again, this can be done during your booking, depending on what cruise line you sail from. It may include drink packages, Wi-Fi, and so on. And some cruise lines, you buy your cruise fare, and then you add on drink packages, Wi-Fi packages, dining packages, and so on. And those can be done post-booking if you want. And those are things to consider. If you're someone like me that enjoys, a nice cold drink by the pool, and my wife loves her martinis before dinner, and the evening cocktails while you're enjoying the ship's entertainment, drink packages do definitely come in handy for ourselves. That something happens. So travel insurance is very important. And the last one, I put a bunch of question marks there. You have any questions? You have any concerns? You need help planning? We are all here to help. All of the cruise travel advisors are here to answer your questions, whether pick your favorite one if you've booked with them before, or I'll go into a little more detail of who we are a little further in the presentation, and just pick a travel advisor, and we'll walk you through the process, and we'll make sure that you plan your cruise of a lifetime. Next one is Cruise Logistics Simplified. So once you have your cruise planned out, you have it booked with your travel agent. Some of the things you may want to consider is, how am I going to pack? So depending on where you're going, so if you're going to Alaska, you're going to pack where you can actually, dress yourself for the day in layers. So you get off the ship in the morning, it's kind of cool. It could be like 10, 12, 14 degrees. And then the sun comes out mid-afternoon and it goes up to 18, 20. So then you can take your sweater off, you can take your jacket off, or you also may require to bring a rain suit depending on where you're going. Or if you're going to the Caribbean, well, you may need a smaller bag because all you have in there is the bathing suit, a couple of pairs of shorts, and so on. So depending on where you're going, there's a little bit of thought process around packing the right essentials based on where you're going. Transportation. Transportation is obviously booking your flights to the cruise port and back home. Depending on where you live or where you're traveling to, there might be the benefit of purchasing train tickets. I know in Europe, depending on where you go, trains are probably the easiest way to get around from one location to the other. And then depending on whether or not it's an excursion or it's a transfer from the airport to the ship or to the hotel to the ship, there's obviously tour buses, there's transportation buses, transfer buses, there's Uber, there's Lyft, all little things that you may want to consider as part of the planning. Embarkation, debarkation ports. Depending on where you go in the world, you obviously have to go through a port to get onto the ship. There are certain things to consider as part of your boarding process. Let's say you get to the port, you hand in your luggage to the porters, you go in, you walk into the building, you go through a security check, and then you walk up to port staff where you show them your documentation, your passport, possibly your boarding pass, any other documentation they require, and then you board the ship and enjoy your cruise. And once you're done your cruise, there's the debarkation process, where depending on the cruise line, you'll be assigned a time to disembark, or you just disembark on your own, whether or not you carry your bags with you off the ship or you put them out of your room the night before so they can be brought into the building. And the debarkation process is usually kind of the reverse, where you pick up your luggage, you go through a custom process. If you travel to the US, you'll be a US Customs. If you travel to Vancouver, it'll be Canadian Customs and even US Customs. And once you're cleared, you grab your bags and off you go. One of the key things to keep in mind as well, and what I like to do is I like printing all my documentation. Yeah, I'm old school, but there's old school for a reason, is because if I need something and everything's in one location, depending on what kind of cell phone plan you may have or what kind of access to data, those printed copies are great. Things like your cruise line documentation, your e-doc, or whichever the cruise line call them. That's the documentation that has all your cruise information, your boarding time, who the passengers are, the ports, and so on. A copy of your medical insurance, because some countries do ask that you provide proof of insurance, like medical insurance, to be covered in those countries. I like printing hotel stays. So if I have a reservation at a hotel, my flight information, I keep it in this little plastic sleeve and I throw it in my backpack. And if I don't need it, I don't need it. But if I do have to refer to it and I don't have access to Wi-Fi, I have it as a backup. Again, the other thing too is making sure you have the right documentation, particularly passports, visas, electronic travel authorization, insurance, ready before you go. Some countries require you to make sure that your passport is at least 6 months, or will not expire within the 6-month window from the time of the end of your cruise. So to make sure that, if ever there was an issue where you had an accident while in port and they took you to the hospital, that, you were in the hospital for a month or two, that you would actually have the ability to use your passport to get out of the country to come back home. So many countries have a minimum of a passport that is a minimum of 6 months from the time of return of your travel itself. All right. Who are we? Well, look at all these lovely people. These are our Vacations for Canadian Cruise travel advisors. We have Carrie, we have Karen, our lovely host tonight. Matt, many of you have met Matt if you've come to our weekly cruise chats. We have Trisha that just joined our team earlier this year, a new travel advisor working for us. We have Mr. Rick down at the bottom here. He joined us as well. He's our guru when it comes to luxury cruising. And then, hold and behold, the guy with a hat, myself, Luke, also known as the Canadian Cruiser. At the end of the day, we're all here to help you. Either you can continue working with your current travel advisor, or if you're new to Vacations for Canadians, feel free to pick a travel advisor and they'll help you through. And the good news with picking one travel advisor versus going to different ones is that you build a relationship, you build a rapport. There's some knowledge transfer that if you've booked multiple cruises, we kind of learn what you like, what you don't like, and then we give us a better platform to be able to make recommendations going forward. Where do you find our deals? Well, multiple places. One is we have a website. Our website contains a lot of information. It has cruise deals. It has our exclusive rates. It also contains our new booking online tool. So if you don't want to have to go through an agent, or you're browsing one night and you're looking at some of our deals and you go through our booking process and you say, you know what, I'm just going to book it. I see it. I want it now. Go ahead and book it. And if you already have a travel advisor that you're currently working with, it'll automatically be assigned to them. And if not, one will be assigned to you. We also have our cruise deals for Canadians. It's our Facebook page where our Facebook group. We do also have a Vacation for Canadian page, but we also have a cruise deals for Canadians. This is where we post daily deals. We answer people's cruise questions, and we help people along, helping them plan and book a deal. We also have access to exclusive offers. Exclusive offers are pre-negotiated rates and deals that we have with various cruise lines, where the price gets locked in. We secure a group of cabins, and most of them come with a refundable deposit. And 99.9% of the time, they are cheaper than booking directly online. And then, as you know, we have Supplier of the Month. This month, it's Norwegian Cruise Line. With that, if you book a cruise with our Supplier of the Month, they usually come with preferred perks and benefits through booking with us, because we've pre-negotiated some of these perks for you on your behalf, and we transfer those perks to you. And in this particular case with Norwegian Cruise Line, if you book any balcony or above during the month of March, we will put in $200 US on board credit. So there you go. There's a benefit to booking with Vacations for Canadians. How to book your next cruise? Well, there are two ways you can do that. One is you pick your favorite Vacations for Canadians cruise advisor, and we help you through the process. And we help understand what your needs are, what you're looking for, where do you want to travel. And to many of the points I brought up in some of the previous slides, we walk you through and we find your deals. We help you plan, and we do everything we can to make sure that you have an exceptional cruise. The next one, as I've already touched on it, is our Vacations for Canadian website, and I will take you there now, and hopefully I can get this done without making a mistake here. Sorry, I got to move my camera. Present, share my screen. I think I got it right. Share. All right. Can you guys see my Vacations for Canadians website? Sorry, I can't see you, so I'll dive in about us. So this is where you'll find us and our contact information. So if I click on our team, there we are. We're all listed here in no particular order. And if you want to contact us via email, just click on the email, and I'll go back to where to find deals. So if you click on the deals link, there are some cruise deals. These are deals that you will also see on our Facebook group, Cruise Deals for Canadians. They're listed here, and we've actually implemented some filters to help you out. Either filters based on region, if you want to do an Eastern Caribbean, you want to pick a particular cruise line. So in this case, let's just do Celebrity, for instance. It'll refresh. And let's say you want to go December 2025. So you pick December. And then you pick 2025. And these are our active deals that have been posted on our Facebook group. And right now we have 4, because we try to make sure that we keep this area clean in terms of if we have any expired deals or deals that are no longer available in terms of the cabin category or whatever it may be. We do review these on a regular basis, and we remove them. So this is how you can find some deals. Another drop down or another area under our deals are our hosted cruise. So you'll notice here that we have a whole bunch of hosted cruise, and there's one that I'm actually doing here on November 1st on Oasis of the Seas. There's another one here hosted by Matt. Matt is doing a Southern Caribbean in November of this year, and there's a whole bunch of them here. So anytime one of us is hosting a cruise, and a hosted cruise is basically we will be present on the ship. We're actually cruising with you, and we hand out group T-shirts and prizes, and we have events on the ship, and we do meets and greets, and do games and all kinds of stuff. So every agent or most of us will do a hosted cruise, and we try to organize them where we're touching or doing a few different cruise lines, so we're not all sticking to the same one. And then the next one is, and I touched on this, one of my logo, there it is, exclusive rates. Exclusive rates are basically almost like our cruise deals. The only difference is that these rates are based on pre-negotiated rates with different cruise lines. And they come with various perks depending on what cruise line and what kind of negotiated rates we have. And these rates are locked in. You do have to book no later than 6 months prior to the sailing, because at some point we do lose those exclusive rates, because we usually secure them a year and a half, 2 years prior. And then whatever is unsold are given back to the cruise line, and so on. So if I select cruise, we'll do Celebrity again. We'll click on the view rates. And what we have here, these are all the rates for Celebrity, for instance. And again, there are filters here. Sorry, my internet's a little slow. There they are. Here they are. So here it has what ship it's on, the month, the date, and the year, how many nights, the itinerary itself, and then the cabin rate. So if you wanted to filter on a specific ship, or you wanted to filter on a specific month, you can do that. and you can find cruises for specific destinations. Now, there are other things here. There's something new here called Magical Vacation.
So,
We will,
Luke, sorry, I don't want to
yes.
cut you off, but people are saying that they can't see your screen.
Oh,
So I don't know. I'm going to try and remove it and then put it back on and see if that helps at all. So I don't know if anybody can comment whether they're seeing it now. Oh, I hear a yes, so that's good. Sorry to interrupt you, Luke, but just people couldn't see what you were showing them.
oh, okay. So if I go back here, can you, oops, sorry. Can you still see my screen? So if I click on book online, just want to make sure you guys can actually still see it.
Yeah, we see it, Luke.
Okay, perfect. So the book online is a new tool we launched late last year. It's the ability to, you can use it as a cruise search engine. Let's say you wanted to go on a cruise in the Eastern Caribbean, and you wanted a specific cruise line, and you want to see what's available for the month of June and what kind of pricing we may have, either as an exclusive rate or not. You can do that search, and like I said earlier in my presentation, you see it, you don't want to miss it, you don't want to go back and maybe having to do it all over again. You can go through the process of booking it and so on. So an example here is you wanted a cruise sometime, let's say in November of this year. Let's say November 1st to, oops, okay, let's say to December 1st. Destination is, we'll do, and you can also use the search engine. So if you do Caribbean, for instance, and you wanted to do, let's say a Southern Caribbean. Let me see here, you can click search. So at any point you can click search and then keep filtering and find what you wanted. An excellent tool, as I said, to either be using it as a search engine to find specific cruises or itineraries or get ideas, but also you can use it to book your own cruise on your own without having to go through an agent themselves, or having to say, oh, I was here, I found this, and I'd really like to go on this cruise. So here you are, there's a match of 41. So let's say you wanted a specific cruise line. Let's say we'll pick Celebrity because we've been using that. Select Celebrity, click search again, and it'll give you a list of cruises that are available in November 2025 that are being offered by Celebrity. And these are not just exclusive rates, these are global rates based on what's available. All right. And again, there's all kinds of filters here. You can go through the process here where you can see this one. There's an 8-night Southern Caribbean. It's being offered on November 1st and November 15th. If you want more details, you click on the plus sign and it provides you more details. It'll show you the itinerary, the ship, the category, the decks that are available, the destinations, any promotions that are available. This is all information. And at any point, you can actually click on select, and it'll allow you to go through the process of booking that cruise. The next one here, and I may have to go back to my screen here and reshare because I got to change to my Facebook page. Give me 2 seconds here. Present. Stop screen sharing. Share my screen. Sorry, it's because I'm going to a different. There we go. All right. So now we have cruise deals for vacation. This is where we regularly post daily deals, cruise related information, any promotions, anything that might be related to, the supplier of the month or exclusive rates. And I'll just scroll to one of them here. You'll notice this one was posted by Tricia, one of our cruise travel advisors. You can click on the more information, so it gives you a little bit of information. This one here is April 20th to May 1st, 2025. It's departing from New Orleans with these amazing ports. The rate that's being posted here is for a BA balcony. So with Norwegian, a BA balcony is midship, and it's a beautiful cabin. It comes with the more at sea, from what I can tell from the description, which means you have the drink package, you get specialty dining that goes with it, you get Wi-Fi, shore excursion, and there is a promotion right now where you can have the prepaid gratuities included as part of your deal. And there is the March $200 US dollars onboard credit that we tag on as for it being a supplier of the month. Now you'll notice that this deal was posted by Tricia. Because a post was posted either by Tricia or myself or Rick or Karen, you don't have to, this deal is not specific to an individual travel advisor. This is just, we participate and we all post deals. Sometimes even for myself, I'll actually be talking to a client, they want a specific cruise, and then I realize, oh man, this would be a great deal to post on our Facebook group. So I will go and post it. Now, even though it was posted by Tricia, it's to your discretion if you want to use Tricia as your travel agent, if you don't already have one, or you can just contact your current travel advisor and say, you know what, I saw this posting for the Norwegian getaway on April 20th. And I'd like to get more information, or I would like to book it. So just because it's posted by one advisor doesn't mean that they're the only ones that have access to this deal, or that you have to book with them. You can book with anyone. Or if you just want to ask questions, you don't want to have to contact myself, for instance, and say, oh, that's deal, I have a question. You can post it here. You can either tag me or your favorite advisor in the post, or just ask the question and one of us will actually answer your post or your question. The other thing that we like to do as well, and we do this on a daily basis, is we like posting 5 to 7 different deals in one post to try, instead of posting multiple deals and then you got to scroll forever to try to find them. In this case, we've posted 7 deals because 5 are displayed with an additional 2. So, and we try to do, one Royal Caribbean, a Norwegian, maybe a Princess, maybe and sometimes it might be more than just one cruise line. It all depends on what we find for deals. The other thing too is if you log in here and you say, I saw a deal yesterday, but you're scrolling and you can't find it, but you remember what the image looks like. If you go to the menu on the right here and you click more, all the photos and all the deals are actually posted here, so you can actually scroll a little easier to try to find them. Or you may have found an article or a post on a specific perk that we have. For instance, there should be one here for NCL because they're the supplier of the month. Or in this case, there's a ship fact, so a ship fun fact. So you can click on it. It was posted by Tricia, and there's a little bit of information around one of the ship fun facts. So that's what we have on our Facebook group. Now, yeah, so that's about it for that particular case. So now what I'm going to do is take you back to the presentation. I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll continue with our presentation here. I'll cancel the, oh, it should be. So Can we get the deck put back up here, Linda? There it is. So now I talked about your next cruise, how to book your cruise, either through one of us travel advisors, through our website, through our Facebook group. You have any questions, we're all here to help. And then so we talked about pre-cruise. We talked about, booking your excursions, kind of high level, what to pack, things to consider from a documentation perspective. Then there are also things to consider once you're on the ship. Once you're on the ship, the ships have so many things to offer, from an activities perspective, from different events. They also offer excursions that you can actually book. So if you were looking online and you were going through the different cruise line excursions and you said, no, I think I'm just going to wait, I'm going to go on the ship, and you're on the ship and you come across someone, this has happened to me, where, oh, we're going to do this excursion, you want to come? Well, sure. So let me go to the excursion desk, see if there's any availability left, and I'll book that excursion right on the ship. Sometimes it's a little cheaper to buy it prior to cruising, but sometimes when you're on the ship and you really want to do something, there's some excursions. The other thing you can book on the ship once you're on board is your a la carte dining, your restaurant dining, those restaurants, a steakhouse or seafood restaurant, the Italian restaurant, and you decide that maybe you want something different from the main dining room or the buffet, and you want to say, you know what, tonight I want that big juicy steak, and I'm going to go all over it, and I want to enjoy a steak tonight, or maybe it's lobster night and you want to do a steak and lobster. You book that a la carte restaurant. Well, those are done on board. Yes, you can book them ahead of time. Some cruise lines offer you to buy packages, that 3-night a la carte restaurants, or specialty dining, another term that is used, or there's the unlimited. So you say, you know what, I'm going to skip the main dining room, I'm going to skip the buffet, and I'm going to do the specialty dining every night. I'm going to try different restaurants and explore. There's shows on board. Those most of the time you don't have to book them ahead of time, but if the cruise line does have an app, which most of them do now, you can add those events on your phone. It becomes a reminder. It's like that calendar of things that you want to see throughout the ship, or through your cruise on a daily basis, right? Because you can't cram everything into one night. You want to spread it over your 7 or 10 days, and you use the app as a planning tool. And at the end of the day, this is the picture of my lovely wife, Vicky. The scenery that you see on a cruise ship is outstanding. So being on board the ship, yes, you visit ports and you see all kinds of stuff, and you visit different ports across the world. But at the end of the day, whether you've booked yourself an ocean view room or a balcony, or you just want to go outside and admire the scenery, this was actually off the coast of Vancouver. The day before we were to dock back in Vancouver, we were kind of in between British Columbia and Vancouver Island. And she was just standing there, and I figured I'd take her picture because it was worth a million words. One picture worth a million words, because the memories that cruise will bring you is just outstanding. So again, make some time to enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the scenery as you're cruising. Those you don't have to plan for. You just go ahead and do it. Bring some binoculars, and you get to see all kinds of stuff. So in summary here is, if you take the time to plan your cruise ahead of time, where first thing you do is you book your cruise, and then you start planning the other parts that go with it, and you spend the time educating yourself, either through surfing the internet, because the internet is is wide and there's a lot of information. You can contact one of us and we'll help you, guide you through the process, or point you in the direction of maybe, maybe you want to visit this website because that has a lot of information related to Amsterdam, or Vancouver, the Port of Vancouver, and so on. And at the end of the day, you get to travel the world and enjoy the life of cruising. And like I said when I first started, if you've cruised before, you know what I mean, that cruising is an addiction. And I know I am. I have 7 cruises booked between now and next August. And my wife keeps telling me, no, you need to stop. I only have so many days of holidays. But needless to say, the world's your oyster, and there's many options. And again, we're here to help you plan, organize, so that you can take advantage of traveling the world. Post-cruise. So you get off your cruise, what next? Well, there's a couple of things you could do. One is if you enjoyed your relationship with your travel advisor, provide them with a review. We have a couple of links. Most of us have links at the bottom of our email, whether it's a Facebook review, Google. We have the big Google logo at the bottom of our email signature. Post a review. Tell us how well we're doing. Tell us your experience, where other people like yourself can see that we're here to help, we're here to guide, and we're here to make memories, and so on. And then the other side of that is, let's start planning your next one, because like I said, once you're addicted, planning becomes part of almost your daily ritual, where you say, okay, what deal can I find today? So planning for your next one, I think, is one of the activities that I like to do post cruise. One of the things I missed on this is, while you're on the ship, don't hesitate to swing by the next cruise desk and see what they have available. You can either purchase your Cruise Next voucher. Some cruise lines offer a voucher where you can get a discounted deposit with some extra onboard credit. And if you've purchased your cruise with us before, it will be assigned to us, particularly if you're booked on that particular cruise. If not, provide them our information, your favorite cruise line or your favorite cruise travel advisor's information, email address, phone number, and we'll make sure that they're linked to us, and then we'll help you manage it for you. Yes, enjoy your cruise, enjoy the post-cruise, and happy planning, and we're here to help. And on that note, I think I'll hand it over to Karen.
Thank you, Luke. So lots and lots of information and lots of great pointers. I did make a couple notes myself. I'm with you, Luke. I do enjoy having a paper document in my hands when I travel. I don't often need it, but it's easier to have that than trying to rifle through and get the Wi-Fi connection when you're in another country. So I always think that's kind of my safety net if I've got my little packet of paperwork there. So that was a great point. And I also really enjoyed your point about the passport. So having that extra time available, because you never know, you hope you don't need it. We always like to kind of squeeze every little bit of juice time out of our passports before we have to renew and pay that price again. But if something happens, you want to be sure that you can get home easily. You don't want to have any difficulties. So do make sure that you've got enough time afterwards just to be on the safe side, as some countries do require it as well. It's just always a good practice, even if they don't. So,
and some cruise lines will actually contact you if your passport's going to expire before you're off the ship. So they will contact you and say, you need to renew your passport if you want to be able to cruise on this particular itinerary.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, definitely you always take a quick look. It's kind of like when you're for something, it's always a good idea, because you can lose track of it. I mean, 10 years goes fast when you've got a passport that's expiring in a couple months, right? So you want to be sure that you're on top of that and making enough time to get the renewal. So thank you for all of those amazing tips and tricks. Lots of good little nuggets for everybody in the audience and whatnot. So Linda, I'm going to hand it back over to you, because I believe we have a giveaway at this point.
We do have a giveaway. We have a Vacations for Canadians travel. It's a bag. It's I don't know how to describe it, so I'm gonna pull one out that's full of my stuff, and I'm gonna turn my camera on. Oop,
Oh, it's
there
a
we
fanny
go.
pack.
So it's a no, it's not a fanny pack. Look how
Oh,
big
it's
that
one of those
is. You'd
beach.
have to have a
Oh, it's
really big fanny.
no. At first, I could only see the light blue part. No,
Yeah,
that's more
it's
like
like
a beach bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
It's
So we're gonna do
fantastic.
a giveaway. It is. It's lovely, and it's full of stuff because I like to use it. So let me just switch over to our giveaway tool. And so if you have commented, your name will come up. If it ends up being us, then we'll draw again. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So I will pop my email into the comments, and I'll need you to send me your address so we can get your prize out to you. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Oops.
Well,
And I
congratulations.
guess
So were there any questions that came out this evening? I know there's a very comprehensive presentation, but were there any that came through?
nothing came through. We'll leave it open for comments. I did have I was gonna say I'm gonna hit you guys up with a question because that's what I like to do. But when it comes to specialty dining, is that something that, you guys have all cruised a ton? Is that something that is worth planning into your trip? Because I know I did my first cruise and we did one night specialty dining, but we loved the main dining room so much. We were just happy to be there. So maybe we'll start with Karen, go to Rick, and we'll give Luke a little break and put him last. And just as far as specialty dining goes, and how do you incorporate that into your cruising experience?
That's a great question. I mean, oftentimes the main dining room is so good that it's you don't want to miss out on that. But I do enjoy a specialty dinner, especially on a sea day. I find that that's the time that I tend to go to the specialty restaurants because I've got all day to relax around the pool and just kind of enjoy the ship. And it's something really special to look forward to at the end of the day. So when I'm planning, those are the ones I kind of tend to book my specialty dinners on.
Yeah, I know that a lot of clients look forward to the specialty dining, and justifiably so because they're great. We've done about 28 cruises so far. We don't pre-book them. We'll do them if we go to we look at the menu of the dining room and say, yeah, not for us tonight. Then we'll go and book something at the specialty dining if we can get one in. It's not always available, but you have to. That's the way we look at it because the food in the dining rooms are great, like Karen said. On our last sailing on the Celebrity Beyond, my God, with us 4 dining rooms, and they were like specialty dining on their own. So we really enjoyed it. So use your judgment when to pull that trigger, I guess. I see that Tina loves her specialty dining. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tina's piping in. She's in the middle of the Panama Canal cruise, which is what we were going to talk about tonight. But because she's still sailing, we decided to hold off. But she's still here in spirit.
Specialty dining. I guess there's a couple of ways of looking at it. I think Karen and Rick have very valid points. The other thing too, specialty dining can be used to celebrate a special event.
Mm-hmm.
We have clients that are celebrating a 50th anniversary or a 50th birthday or whatever it may be, or a graduation. Somebody graduating, getting their master's at university or whatever, and they'll make a point of booking a specialty restaurant because to them it's kind of like dressing up and going to the restaurant and having the upscale food. That I'm not saying that the food on the cruise line isn't great, like Karen said. The food in the main dining room is outstanding. And if you want a little more relaxed, there's the buffet. But the specialty dining, it's you can use it to celebrate. You can use it to maybe just say, you know what, I'm going out tonight. I'm gonna dress up on formal night, and I'm just gonna go all out and sign up for a specialty restaurant. They can be booked ahead of time, but it can also, be a spur of the moment thing where you can go to the specialty dining that you want and see if they can squeeze you in. And the best days, as Karen said, C days, best. So.
Linda, can you just
Awesome.
highlight Megan's comment there? Aqua.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Aqua.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Aqua is a class of cabin on the celebrity ships that you have access to the Blue Restaurant. And Blue Restaurant, in my mind, is like having a specialty dining for almost every meal on the ship. You go there, you don't need a reservation, you go anytime you want, and the food is amazing. So we had the good fortune to do that once, and I look forward to doing it again. So it's one of the higher ranked or higher categories of cabins, balcony cabin. But sometimes you get a great deal on it, and sometimes we have them on our group deals as well. So keep an eye out for those.
Thanks, Rick. So the one that Megan is going to be sailing on is the NCL Aqua. So she's going to be going, yes,
Wow.
which is a totally different Aqua and so much fun as well. But just to make sure that Megan's not going to be looking for a Blue Restaurant on that ship, because she won't find it, but she will find some other really amazing stuff and some great eateries there as well.
Thanks for that.
Has anyone sailed Aqua in our group? Or is that a new ship?
No, Tina and I are actually going to go
Yeah.
see it next month. So we're getting a
Yeah.
sneak peek of it, which we're super excited. So we will be showing some little, teasers as we get to see it at the end of the month. We're going to be in Boston during one of the early sailings.
And I'll be there too.
Megan.
Oh, and Luke as well, of course, Luke.
Yes, yeah.
Of course.
Rick and I'll be here holding everything down. Don't you
Oh,
worry.
yes.
Somebody's got to do it. Glad it's you.
So lots of great advice tonight. We don't have a lot of questions, but that's maybe just the sign of a fantastic presentation that covered everything for us. So I'm going to pass it back to Karen to wrap things up. Oh yeah, that was our Ask Us Anything. We didn't get our fun little new graphic.
Wow. That's fun. That is very fun. Maybe that will inspire some questions. We're still here if it does. So thank you for joining us this evening. We're very excited to have you along with us on our Wednesday night. Our next cruise chat is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Our topic for next week, Linda, is that?
You know what? Just give me 2 seconds. I should know this off the top of my head, but clearly I don't. So I can find it out.
Sounds good. So in the meantime, you can reach us by taking a look at our Facebook pages. Luke walked you through. You can chat us. You can email us. You can call us any way you prefer to communicate with us. We love to chat cruises. We love to help you find your next best vacation. So thank you for joining.
And next week is you, Karen. You're presenting on dietary restrictions.
Well, there we have it. I can't wait to talk to you about dietary restrictions next week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, good night.
Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye now.